자, 이어서요. 이거 미니 habits 오늘 분량 2페이지 읽는 거 인증하고 갈게요. 시작. Their workout had a very high perceived difficulty. My sense of difficulty was greater than the actual difficulty, but when I decided to start with one push-up and continued in that fashion, the perceived difficulty dropped substantially. Setting mini goals is the best way to drop the perceived difficulty in any project. Once you start and are free to continue, your perceived difficulty will be much lower due to the psychological impact of having already started. Just like in physics, the greatest inertia comes before the start of motion. Once you're in motion, everything gets easier as a result of momentum. Okay. And increased motivation. Starting, even in a small way, also brings your mind into reality, and this is important. Before you take action, your mind can only imagine what a particular behavior would be like. My initial projection of a 30-minute workout was like scaling Mount Everest. It was wrong when it comes to activities that require physical or mental effort. It's extremely common to overestimate how difficult they are. After I complete my 30-minute workout for starting with one push-up, I realized how absurd my initial perceived difficulty was. Result with mini habits. Very little ego depletion if as you continue beyond your original target. The reason starting is the hardest part is because it carries the brunt of the weight of commitment. Once we start, we feel as if we need to finish our original intention to count it as a success. This is why we tend not to start a project that intimidates us. We'd rather not start if we won't finish. This is why mini habits are so easy. The total intention is so small, there's no risk of quitting too early. By starting small and entering the reality of doing the work, your mind will see that one small step is not as difficult as it first seemed, and that taking the next step isn't difficult either. Negative effect. Negative effect simply means the experience of unpleasant feelings. It clearly played a role in the chocolate and radish study. Participants were tempted by the sight and smell of chocolate and were given the less desirable radishes. Being tempted with chocolate only to be denied even a taste was a very negative experience, perhaps more than we'd think. Imagine someone presenting you with cookies and then withholding them. As many habits are for adding good things, negative effect is less relevant unless your action is directly replacing another pleasure. Eating radishes alone won't deplete willpower, for example, but when just opposed against chocolatey goodness, you bet they will. Okay, result with many mini habits. Typically, no ego depletion. Even if you were replacing a pleasure with a mini habit, the commitment is so small that you won't feel negative effect from it. More often, we'll be replacing time-wasting behaviors with beneficial ones, which induce a positive feeling. Subjective fatigue. This is an interesting one, isn't it? It doesn't say fatigue. It says subjective fatigue, implying that we are not completely objective in our assessment of our own fatigue. It turns out that willpower is a battle of the mind, and according to some of these top willpower drainers, the battle appears to be between the perception of your strength relative to your task. Mini habits thankfully come with a mini amount of subjective fatigue. Subjective fatigue depends on many factors, and a big one is how you see yourself stacking up against your goal. I've noticed that when my goal is large, my subjective fatigue worsen. This is logical as the mind looks ahead to the upcoming work and perhaps feels the impact early. A recent study found that our imaginations are so powerful that they can change what we physically see and hear in the real world. So it is not at all a stretch to think that expecting a heavy workload can impact our energy levels too. 여기까지 읽는 게 2페이지인데요. 여기까지 읽게 되면 내용이 더 궁금해요. 그래서 계속 읽게 돼요. 근데 지금 더 읽고 싶어요. 그래서 지금 배터리가 별로 없거든요. 휴대폰이. 그거 끝날 때까지 계속 읽겠습니다. This idea was also supported by researchers in the meta-analysis who noted expecting further acts of self-control exacerbated the effect of ego depletion. I noticed that when my goal became just one push-up, my subjective fatigue shrunk. In fact, I felt I had plenty of energy to do a single push-up. Me too. And the thought that I could easily do something, albeit small, was energizing. Okay, result with mini habits. Nothing can completely take away subjective fatigue, but mini habits mitigate it very well. In relation to your mini goals, you may feel a sense of empowerment and energy. Even when I've been exhausted subjectively, I've still felt sufficiently energized to just read 2 pages or write 50 words. Right. If you're wondering about the value in only doing that much, it's high and it's covered later. Right. I agree that blood glucose levels, glucose sugar is your primary energy source. If you have low glucose in your blood, you're going to feel very tired. If it's dangerously low, you can even pass out. Your blood sugar levels are determined by genetics, diet, and lifestyle. As for mini habits, they are independent of your blood sugar, but they can help to preserve it by being the most efficient way to spend your willpower energy. It is far more mentally energy efficient to break things down into small components that are easily mentally digested and less stressful. The goal of losing 100 pounds in a year is a constant energy drain and burden. Right. And with this goal, it is possible to lose 50 pounds and feel like a failure. Why would anyone be interested in that? One workout feels like a drop in the bucket, and it is the grand scheme of your massive goal. It's hard to feel good after work when it represents almost nothing compared to your goal. With mini habits, though, willpower is preserved as much as possible. Every step you take feels like success, and going beyond your goal feels even better than that. It is a system that makes you feel like a winner because people who feel like winners act like winners. 그렇죠. 승자처럼 행동하면 승자가 되는 거죠. 해낸 사람처럼. Rigid with mini habits. Why blood sugar levels are independent of mini habits, the fact that they are energy efficient, willpower efficient, and empowering psychologically preserves blood sugar as much as any goal, habit, strategy could. And if you're tired from low blood sugar, many habits give you the best chance to take action anyway. How many habits expand your comfort zone? 우리의 안전지대를 넓혀준다? 작은 습관이? Okay. Right now, you have a comfort zone. Imagine it as a circle. You're most comfortable inside of this circle, but outside of it are some of your desired goals. Outside the lines, you might see yourself physically fit and weighing less. You might envision books you've written or books you'd like to read. A happier version of you with fewer negative thoughts. A version of you who cooks more meals at home or whatever else you're interested in improving. These are outside of your comfort circle because they require some discomfort to achieve due to straying from your basal ganglia's current routines. The common way people go about this change is dividing it and trying it whatever it takes to succeed strategy. This is like sprinting well outside of your comfort circle and fighting to stay there. That's when your subconscious brain says, this is interesting, but I'm really uncomfortable with this huge change. And it forces you back inside your comfort circle, and your motivation and willpower can no longer support you out there. Many habits are like walking to the outer edge of your circle and taking one step outside of the boundaries. Ooh, you are in less comfortable territory here, but not much by much, because taking one step back will put you back inside your comfort circle. And maybe for the first few times, you will step right back inside your comfort circle, only meeting your mini requirements. But when you continue to step outside the circle, your subconscious will get comfort with it and your circle will expand. We're talking about a mini habit forming here. This expansion, unlike the sprints in the prior example, can permanently change your boundaries, and it is the magic bullet of mini habits. Because while I hope you get the urge to explore your outer boundaries after you take the first step outside, even if you don't, you will eventually form a comfortable habit of taking that first step into a new behavior. This serves as the best possible foundation for further steps and personal growth in that area. In the case of push-ups, the common mini habit is to do one every day. This small step creates a much broader effect than you'd think, because not only will you become comfortable with the idea of doing one push-up, you will also be more comfortable with push-ups in general and with doing them every day. This is going to make scaling up a breeze, really. And this is the absolute worst case scenario of the mini habit system, in that you never do extra. Changes are that you will do extra sometimes, and the reason relates to basic physics. Newton's first law states that 1. An object that is at rest will stay at rest unless an external force acts upon it. Right? 2. An object that is in motion will not change its velocity unless an external force acts upon it. Can you see how this relates? Once you take the first step, you are officially in motion. You will find, as I have, and as Newton's law suggests for physics anyway, that once you get started, it is almost as hard to stop as it is to keep going. Me too, in my case, right? Add to this that nothing is more motivating and inspiring than seeing yourself take action. Put it together and we get a new equation. One small step plus desired behavior equals high probability of further step. Okay. The 2 moments of resistance. I remember living in Virginia with a cat. When it snowed, we naturally wanted to see how our indoor cat liked the snow. Cats don't like water, but do they like fluffy frozen water? Nope. First attempt. We walked out into the yard and tossed her into the snow. Failure. Ooh. She would stand there, motionless and confused for 3 seconds, and quickly race back inside in disapproval. Second attempt later day. We placed her on the outskirts of the snow. Oh, success! She actually walked around in it and explored some. Oh, your brain is just another cat in the snow, and you can quote me on that because I love out of context quotes. spring massive changes won't it? It will run back to its comfort routines. But introduce change gently and in small doses, and it just might be curious, not scared, to explore them more. Oh, your brain is programmed to resist change, but most of that resistance comes at two particular moments. Resistance before action. Think of yourself as a ball resting on a track, or as Newton's law states, an object that is at rest. Motivation techniques insist that you get motivated before you move, but isn't it easier just to move forward 1 centimeter and let momentum help you out? Yes, it's much easier. Move yourself slightly forward to get rolling. Once you're rolling, the equation changes to a more favorable physics formula. An object that is in motion will not change its velocity unless an external force acts upon it. We want to be in motion in the direction of our goals as much and as frequently as possible. 더 읽고 싶어. 더 읽고 싶은데요. 제가 여기서 그만둘게요. 드릴 말씀이 있어서요. 여러분들도 제가 읽는 거 계속 보는 거 지루하시죠? 드릴 말씀은요. 여기서 지금 그러잖아요. 습관을 처음에 아주 작게 하면 거부감이 적어지고 오히려 호기심이 생긴다고요. 그러니까 이제 정체된 상태에서 뭔가를 할 때에는 정말 작게 해야 거부감이 적게 드는데요. 그게 뉴턴의 제1법칙이죠. 그런데 두 번째 법칙, 움직이려고 하는 건 계속 움직이는 특성을 지니고자 하잖아요. 우리가 작은 한 스텝을 내딛었을 때, 그러니까 제가 이 2페이지만 읽어야지 하고 정말 작게 시작했을 때 2페이지를 이미 읽으면 두 번째 법칙, 이미 움직이는 상태가 됐잖아요. 이걸 끊고 싶지 않다는 게 또 성질이 발동하는 거예요. 그래서 저처럼 여러 페이지를 읽게 되는 거죠. 그러니까 이걸 끊을 수가 없어요. 이 내용이 너무 즐거워요. 그래서 원서 읽기를 할 때는요, 이렇게 이렇게 문법적으로 되어 있거나 아니면은 상황이 맥락이 끊기는 거 있죠. 그거는 오래 가기 힘들어요. 그러니까 오늘의 할당량을 읽으면 이게 덮게 되는 경우가 있는데, 이렇게 스토리로 된 거 있죠. 이거는요, 끊을 수가 없어요. 내용이 너무 궁금하고 재밌어서요. 이게 바로 원서 읽기의 묘미인 것 같습니다. 그래서 저는요, 약간 습관 붙이기를 성공했습니다. 처음에 요거 하루에 한 개 유닛을 읽는 거잖아요. 요거요. 그래서 한 개 유닛은 되게 쉬워요. 이거 뭐 1분, 2분밖에 안 걸려요. 아침에 아이들 깨우다가 실패하면 그때 얼른 나와서 읽고 있거든요. 그것처럼 쉬운데, 이 쉬운 거에 조금 저에겐 좀 어려웠던 거예요. 버거웠던 거 2페이지는. 요걸 붙였더니 이제는 이게 완전 쉬워졌어요. 이거는 그냥 디폴트 값 됐어요. 그리고 이제 이것도 해보다 보니까 너무 재밌네요. 공부가 이렇게 재밌고 습관 공부가 이렇게 좋습니다. 여러분, 이제 저는요, 이제 책 읽으러 들어갈 거고요. 좋은 시간 되십시오. 저 되게 즐거웠습니다. 빠이빠이.